Okay.
OP.
These are the scariest stories on Reddit.
Countdown to Halloween. The neighbors invited me for dinner. All of my survival instincts told me I'm in danger.
Not a dinner party you want to go to.
No, not very inviting. My next door neighbors are an odd bunch. Sure, they have a bunch of top of the line furniture, vehicles, and everything was honestly quite outdated. It looks like everything was old, but in between aged and antique. So they honestly kind of just looked ugly. But like I said, everything looked really pricey, like expensive hand-me-downs, basically. I say next door neighbors, but they're really a couple miles to my right. We all live in an expansive, closed community, all with really nice houses and acres of wilderness separating us. It's honestly quite beautiful, and if anyone has the money to be able to live in one of these areas, I would highly recommend it. Some real estate advice.
Yeah, I love that.
As long as the neighbors aren't quite like these ones. I get it. They're rich. They're eccentric. Those often go hand in hand, but these people in general have just always put me at unease. When my wife and I were invited to go to their place for dinner, I wasn't ecstatic about it, but my wife convinced us to go and just check the place out. Maybe they were simply misunderstood. The invitation was a literal invitation. When I say outdated, I mean really outdated. We had a letter hand delivered to our residence by their butler, who also gave me the creeps.
By their butler?
By the butler. Like, this makes me think of like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
The weird butler coming from the manor to like deliver this mysterious invitation.
I'm almost imagining like a red wax seal.
Yeah.
And you have to break the seal and it's coated in blood.
I could definitely see that. We opened it to find the invitation beautifully handwritten inside with amazing calligraphy. The letter, word for word, went like this. Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Redacted. Sorry for such a late welcoming letter. We seldom have the time for such formalities, but found some time for tomorrow. We would be most grateful to have you both for dinner over at our manor, and would love to share our rich familial culture with you and your wife. Hope to see you soon. Sincerely, the Redacted.
If someone calls their home a manor, run.
Literally the same
Run.
exact. I thought the same exact thing. Something about the letter felt wrong, but when my wife shrugged it off, so did I. The day came to go over to their manor, but of course, she came down with a stomach bug and couldn't make it. So now, I had to go alone.
Oh, don't go into a strange person's home alone.
I would not have done
Don't
that.
split up. Come on.
Say you have hockey practice or something. I arrived there on what I supposed was on time, since no time was labeled. I got there around 4 p.m. and was greeted with an extremely attractive young man and woman. They were already outside of the front door when I showed up, and something told me they were waiting there for a while. Like, he just got the feeling they were just standing there.
Standing there watching, waiting?
Very
so creepy.
Ominous. Everything about these people was flawless, but dated. Perfect skin, perfect clothes, perfect teeth, perfect hair. It felt like I took a step backward in time. The only thing that truly looked old were their eyes. I worked at a nursing home as an adult, and I could recognize old eyes anywhere. Walking into their house was truly a blast to the past. It felt like I really time traveled, except everything was covered in dust from lack of use, except for the kitchen and dining room, which was already set up magnificently. We had small talk in the dusty lounge area for a couple of hours before we began to eat. Nothing really stemmed from the conversations, but while I felt awkward from it, they kept on smiling, but not really with me. They smiled at me.
What does that mean?
I'm just imagining a smile that's just like the transfixed look, and you're just smiling, like where it goes from warm to creepy. Yeah. When we finally went over to the dining area, we passed by a door that was halfway open, and faint noises could be heard from downstairs. I guess my body language showed an interest because the woman announced there was nothing to be seen down there, twirled her fingers, and the door magically slammed shut. I thought I must have been seeing something, but they kept heading on, so I followed. Every survival instinct inside of me told me to leave right away, but I wouldn't be telling the story if I did. We sat down to eat and started off with some wine. As soon as the first sip hit my lips, I felt an instant craving to eat. They must have noticed because they sent out butlers with food to me. Well, really only meat. I began to devour uncontrollably, failing to notice at the time what I was eating. They just sat there.
What was he eating?
Watching. Yeah, so they bring out literally just meat. No other sides, vegetables, fruits, salad, nothing. I ate about 3 times what I normally could stomach in about half the amount of time it would normally take me for a regular meal. After that, I felt extremely bloated and sick, as one normally would after going through such an endeavor of eating. Then they brought a glass of liquor for me to drink, saying it's an old family remedy that will make me feel better. I'm not the biggest fan of liquor, but in order to not offend them, I pretended to drink it anyways. Besides, every cell in my body told me not to drink that. And something was wrong. Even the whiff of vapor from the drink made me feel unnaturally tired. Deciding that I needed to purge what I ate immediately, despite it tasting so good, I feigned stomach issues and asked where the nearest restroom is. They told me through the kitchen and to the left. I get up and walk to the kitchen. After I was out of sight, I walked a little faster, almost breaking into a light jog. I noticed absolutely no one was in the kitchen right now and found it sinister. Looking around, I noticed mine and my wife's photo laying on one of the counters.
Their photo?
Their photo.
They had something planned.
Why was it there?
Why is it there?
Curiosity got the best of me, so I took a detour to take a look. I probably should have left by now, but I needed to find out why that photo was there. Before I headed over, something in the invitation came to mind after seeing a cookbook next to the picture. Next to the photo was an old, tattered, handwritten cookbook already open to a page. I didn't pay much attention until I saw a very detailed drawing of the human anatomy. There was no title on the page, but it was the last words on the page that shook me. Flesh is most potent when victim consumes its own kind. And then my stomach gurgled.
He was eating human flesh?
He was eating human flesh, and potentially, my theory, it's a picture of him and the wife. The wife had some sort of stomach issue and said she couldn't make it. Was it potentially the wife that they took for the hours while they were talking?
You mean they took the wife?
They took the wife. He was chatting with them for hours before they ever went to dinner. She had a stomach bug. Eating their own kind could be interpreted as just eating another human.
Or he ate his wife?
Or he ate his wife.
Oh, God.
And the drink that they gave him
was his wife's blood.
Maybe not his wife's blood, but basically it was some sort of chloroform-like substance that would have knocked him out. So that way, like the quote says, after he consumed the flesh of someone else, his flesh would be better for consumption.
Oh, my God. Dude, cannibals are freaking insane.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Yep. Yeah. r/NoSleep, you have successfully done the job.
Jeez. Cannibals.
If you haven't already subscribed and want more of this spooky content, make sure to hit the subscribe button.